Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Deeksha Sharma from Cornell University, United States of America, and my work is in emotional intelligence and anything related to emotional vulnerability and how it impacts our life in day-to-day basis. Ni hao, Taiwan. And today we are going to talk about a very sincere and a very serious topic, which is very sensitive to the mental well-being, and it is loneliness. Loneliness has impacted the world in a very great extent, and it's a grave matter at present. So it is important to understand that what exactly is happening behind the feeling of loneliness and how can we actually cope with this feeling. As such, human species is surviving on social construct. We believe in living groups and communities, and we believe that the overall growth and well-being of every human being is dependent on how we interact in a group or in different communities. And that was being slowed down by the pandemic. And not only that, but loneliness itself looks a very simple term, right? But it is very, very complex, and it has very dangerous fallouts if we look into it. So what is loneliness? Loneliness is nothing but when somebody is unable to connect with the outer world, is unable to express or perceive emotions in a very cohesive way. And because of that, they start feeling by themselves. If you look technically, there are two definitions of loneliness. So one is explicit, where you actually are by yourself, maybe in a home, maybe in a room where you don't have any human connection, and you feel lonely because you're not able to connect with people where you want to connect with them. And on the other end, we have definition which is implicit, and which suggests that when you have people around you who loves you, who adores you, but you're still not able to connect with them. And this one is more dangerous because here you're not able to perceive and receive emotions in a nice way. And that's why here the term managing your emotions comes into play. And that term is emotional intelligence. That is simply how you are actually able to balance out your emotions. Simple, right? But very difficult to execute. Now, having said that, I will take you to a very important concept of being alone and being lonely. So if you're alone, you may be happy, right? If you're watching a movie by yourself, having a bowl of popcorns, you may be happy in your own company. You don't need anybody. But when you're lonely, in that case, you're not able to connect with people even when you want to connect with them. So when you're lonely, you are sad, you have fears, you are angry, you feel dejected and rejected. Unlike maybe when you're alone, you may be feeling happy and content and being peaceful. Now, let me take you to one of my study, which I did in 2020, where we found that how the ability to manage emotions, which is emotional intelligence, dropped drastically in the year 2020, suggesting that people were not able to manage their emotions properly. And not only that, the fallout was loneliness and other issues which were related to the mental well-being. And in all this scenario, I also did one of the podcasts specifically for students, youngsters, and it was literally disheartening to see that how these young people were feeling lonely at their homes and being with their loved ones because they were losing the sense of belonging. And which made me think that technically, even if you are with people, you're going to feel lonely. And in the midst of all this chaos, you may feel lots of anxiety and stress around being lonely. Now, if we talk about loneliness as a concept, so this is something which can happen at any place and at any time to anyone and at any age. So if you look at this study done in 2020, you will find that this loneliness is actually spread along all the age groups, and it is actually present in every ages. But having said that, most of the people in their 20s and 30s are the ones who are feeling lonely the most. The reason behind that is because this is the age where you want to travel, you want to explore, you want to build your relationships, you want to build your personal life and professional life. But 2020 being the pandemic, everything got hit hard. And because of that, this was the age group which was impacted the most. Now, if we look at according to the challenges which young people go through and feel being lonely, whether it's implicit or explicit, the impacts are almost the same. So the first one is, feeling insecure. This is one of the indicators. In this, what happens is that you don't connect with the outer world. You think it's you against the world. You think you're by yourself and there is nobody to rescue you. You feel insecure emotionally, physically, financially, and psychologically, and that you feel that there is no one who can actually come and guide you and help you out. Even if you have people around you who love you, who get inspired by you, who are in awe of you, and who look up to you. When this kind of insecurity comes in, it is more about that you are not able to perceive and receive emotions properly. So if you are in the definition of the explicit set of loneliness, where you actually don't have people around you, you can go out and meet people and you will find that most of the time people are very nice and they're warm and they respect you and they value you, and you will find that reconnect with them. But in case if you are actually an implicit one, which is more dangerous definition of loneliness, that you have people around you still unable to connect, that's the time you have to manage your emotions. And the second thing which comes as an impact of loneliness is feeling numb. You feel nothing. Even if you love the people around you, you are not able to connect with them, and you think that they will not understand you and they don't understand you and you will not understand them. And the bilateral flow of emotions is being stopped. And you think that everything is going haywire, even if when everything is normal. So the perception of emotion becomes very difficult. And herein, that's why it is important to understand that you are not able to manage your emotions properly. And there is something which is required to be done for that. The third one is unable to connect. So even if you think that there are people who are there with whom you can connect with, you still are not able to. And the reason behind that is because your sense of judgment for them has increased to some another level. And not only that, but there's the issue of validation comes into being, where you're not able to understand who you are, what is your identity. And the problem comes with ego identity, where you are not able to find that, am I good enough? Have I done good things in life, professionally and personally? Am I a good person? And will people accept me or reject me? And you have these fears which are coming along, which even don't exist. But for you, they become very, very vital. The last one is misinterpreting yourself. You start misinterpreting what you are and how you feel and what you should do. And not only that, but you create walls against the world, and especially with your loved ones in the case of implicit definition of loneliness. And you think that you will never be able to connect with them and you don't feel anything for them and you are by yourself. So this is important to understand that when you're feeling like this, you have to work around your perception of emotions, and you have to understand it's all right what you're feeling. It will go away. Now, we need to understand that how can we reduce this feeling of loneliness? So it's easier said than done. But the process is going to be very subtle. So the first thing is you have to talk to your loved ones and your friends, even if you think that's not going to work or it's not helping. So if you think that you are not able to trust them, it's okay. Have a faith that you're going to trust them eventually, because they're the one who loves you, who knows you, what kind of a person you are from within, and they can help you step by step. So this process is going to be very long, but you have to keep trust. In case if you're from the explicit definition where you're by yourself, you need to just go out, meet people, and you'll find that the world is really welcoming. The second is try to open to new communities and groups. Now, it is very important that you connect with right people. So when you are at your lowest, the most important thing is that to whom you are reaching out to. So you need to connect with real, legit, and ethical groups which are backed up by some medical resources, some good nonprofit organizations, and some legit communities around the world, which can actually help you in the right manner. Because there are groups which are actually running online where you can meet strangers and you think that talking to them, you will be able to solve your problem, but that's not going to help. Because even they are the ones who are there because of some broken hearts, and they might not be able to give you the right advice which is required by you, and you may get into some self-harming acts and processes in the time of when you need the right advice. So in some of the studies done for the youngsters' mental well-being, it was found that in the times of loneliness, many youngsters are connecting to the wrong communities and wrong platforms. We're talking to strangers where they're getting wrong advice and they are doing more harm than good, which may lead to some kind of addictions and wrong perceptions about themselves and about their loved ones. And they may go further away from the world instead of reconnecting back to the world. So the first important step in all the ways to help yourself is to find out right people. Once that's done, the process is going to be long, but at least it's going to be in the right direction. If you're connected to the wrong person, trust me, the whole process will go haywire and you may land up in a very, very ugly situation. Now, third one is have a focus group where you can meet people who are feeling the same. So there are many legit groups which are backed up again by medical resources where you can find people who in a very legit way exist physically and who are going through the sense of loneliness, and they respect that feeling, they respect that emotion, and connecting with them, you will feel resonated and you will feel that you're mirrored and you can understand that it's okay that what you're feeling and it is just a temporary phase and it'll go away. The last is that if your health is deteriorating to an unmanageable extent, it is important for you to connect to a medical resource, because then is a SOS situation where you actually need proper medical help. But other than that, if you are able to connect with the right people, you will find that it is just your perception and it is about the emotional vulnerability you're going through. It is more about how you're perceiving the world and how you are perceiving and receiving the emotions in a wrong way, or there is some inability to actually connect to the world. And that's why if you work a little bit and you trust a little bit on your loved ones and the people around you, you will find it is way more easier for you to reconnect back and not feel lonely. Not only that, but I will go back to Taiwan and I will go to Kaohsiung and near the one of the islands in the south of Taiwan, where I went to for a deep dive, scuba dive, and I was alone by myself, but I was happy. So this alone is way more happier. But then when you become lonely, then you're not able to do anything which makes you happy. And for that, you need to understand that you have to first manage your emotions. Once you are done here, only then the loneliness will go away, because everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is hustling. Everyone is feeling lonely. Everyone is feeling that they are by themselves. But actually, the truth is, as human species, we are not alone. We all are interdependent and we all love each other. And once your perception change, once you are able to perceive and receive the emotions in a right way, you will find that you are able to reduce the sense of loneliness step by step. But again, as I mentioned, it is important for you to make sure that you are not connecting to the wrong communities, to the strangers whom you don't know even, and you are just connecting without any medical advice. So I will suggest you not to do that, but to make sure that you're more constructive instead of becoming more destructive to these kind of situations. Now, as I already mentioned about Taiwan, so when I was there, I met beautiful people, beautiful culture, and I had language issues, but still I was able to see that how everyone is same, going through similar kind of issues, hustling together, trying to overcome the problems, trying to overcome the issues, and trying to work together, smiling at each other. And this gave me one feeling, and that is, you're not alone feeling lonely. This is my take for you. Thank you so much for your time. Ni hao.